A stunning decision at the Supreme Court. A CBS News investigation finds John Sununu is not alone up there. And the Slovenians say they're at war with Yugoslavia. This is the CBS Evening News. I'm Charles Kuralt, sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. Good evening. Thurgood Marshall announced his retirement from the Supreme Court today. Justice Marshall, the sturdy old champion of individual rights, has grown increasingly lonely on the bench as a member of the dwindling liberal minority, issuing thundering dissents in case after case. His retirement will give President Bush a chance to name another justice more to his own way of thinking. Law correspondent Rita Braver begins our coverage.
After 24 years on the bench and just days short of his 83rd birthday, Thurgood Marshall, the only African-American ever to sit on the U.S. Supreme Court, is stepping down.
I look forward to the next thing. I never look back. And that goes for now.
He gave all he could, and I think he deserves a rest now.
Marshall is the very symbol of the legal fight for civil rights. As an NAACP lawyer, he won the landmark case of Brown versus the Board of Education, abolishing segregation in America's public schools.
We want those children to have a constitutional education, which the Supreme Court said must be on a desegregated basis.
He served his mostly black, mostly poor clients so well he drew praise from President Lyndon Johnson.
But he represented them as Americans with the same rights and the same responsibilities that the Constitution is supposed to give to every citizen.
And in 1967, Johnson put Marshall on the Supreme Court.
He recognized that if the country was to mean anything in terms of opportunity, that it had to mean something for everyone, regardless of whether or not they were privileged.
In those early years, Marshall was part of a liberal majority, broadening school desegregation and affirmative action, supporting women's rights, especially abortion, and protecting the rights of the accused.
He stressed to us the importance of individuals, of people, that laws were not simply abstract precedents.
In recent years, as conservatives began to dominate the court, Marshall spoke most often in dissent, especially against expanding the death penalty.
Thurgood has been sensitive to helping human beings who have been ignored or rejected.
Even now, no one expects Thurgood Marshall to stop fighting for civil rights.
Everybody quotes Martin Luther King saying, "Thank God we're free again." We're not free. We're nowhere near free.
And Marshall's pessimistic view of the court's conservative march was obvious today in a dissent he wrote, accusing the court majority of ganging up, deciding the law on the basis of power, not on reason. Mark Phillips has the story of two cases where the court cracked down on criminal defendants.